Hello, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, and welcome to the Fifth Trooper Podcast. I'm Owen, and of course, my trusty co-pilot is Isaac. Isaac, how's it going?
It's going great.
Great. Also joining us is two-times world's winner, Luke Cook. Luke, welcome to the cast.
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me.
We're going to dive into a bunch of tips and things with Luke here, but before we do all of that, we just want to say thank you to our Patreon. Shout out to you who give us money to do this. We appreciate it. Also, for everybody who likes and subscribes, all of the doobly-doos down in YouTube, that also helps us a lot, so thank you so much. It helps us do this podcast every 2 weeks, so we appreciate it. Thank you so much, viewers and patrons. You know, we do this because of viewers like you, so thanks. And if you would like to donate money, you can always go over to patreon.com/thefifthtrooper and join the Patreon there. We've got a lot of fun exclusives, and it not only helps us out, but it also helps out all of the other content that happens on the Fifth Trooper YouTube. So that's also Notorious Scoundrels and Rob Hobbies, all of that. So if you want to help anyone out, it all gets spread around, and we do appreciate it. But without further ado, back to Luke. Luke, thank you so much for being here with us. You have a just plethora of tournament wins underneath of your belt, and so to just kick us off here, what are things that you feel like have brought you success inside of the Legion world?
Well, I think getting my butt kicked early on when I was a kid. I started playing in tournaments with games when I was like 7 years old, and so I learned pretty quickly from the older players at the time that, you got to have strategy, you got to be learning the metas, you got to do these things overall, but also just picking up on how they acted and stuff. I remember one time I was so upset I ran out of the store when I was like 7 because initiative roll or something I lost, and I just started crying. But you always got to have a positive mindset when going into the games, and just try your best. Don't be too upset with things and hard on yourself. And we're out here to have fun, right? At the end of the day, so I think trying to learn from mistakes is always the best way. Sometimes if you're winning too much, you think you're hot stuff, and then you're not learning anything. So actually you learn a lot better when you lose and from failure. So don't be afraid to fail, I guess, is another takeaway. I
think that's fantastic advice. I went through several tournaments not winning a single game before I finally actually won a game. Yep. So I think that definitely putting your reps in, as you said, is great, and also just having a positive mindset. Even that is something I struggle with now. Just like if I'm getting beat too badly, I try not to be too sour about it, but like after 2 hours of a game and I'm like losing, it's very hard not to just sit here and just be like,
I've been getting beat a lot lately, so I'm about to crack open, baby. Let's go. That is great. Yeah, I remember like when I first started playing, like our local scene was fairly small, and I was like, yeah, I'm pretty good at the game. And then like Brian Bear and all the Indy Garrison players started like swinging down to Kentucky. I was like, oh, I suck actually. Like, let me get good real quick. But,
Yep.
Yeah, that's great.
Yep. I have the Mike Berry school of getting my butt whipped, and then I play against other people and remember the fact that I'm actually decent at this game. It's just the fact that since I play against Mike for forever, like my bar is just like, oh man, like I'm nowhere near good, but he's already good, and I don't notice that since that's like my weekly, go to, and then I go to tournaments and I was like, oh wait, I can actually kind of hold my own against people.
Yeah.
No, I love the point.
Yeah, no,
go ahead.
That's definitely like, obviously to get better, you got to play the better players. Like if you're just stomping baby seals, they call it, all the time, like you're not going to get better. You're not going to develop new tactics, things that you haven't thought of, right? If you're always just winning. So it helps to play the better players, which is what I always seek out. Usually, like on TTS or if I'm playing practice games, I'm always trying to play better players to learn things from them that I had never thought about. And if I lose, I lose, but I'll learn something from that and take away. And for the next game, the next time I play them or someone else, I have new strategies, new tactics, or things that I can use to help me win. So it's always good. Iron sharpens iron, right? You always want to practice against the better players.
No,
Yeah.
I agree. I love the point too you made about like really learning from those mistakes. Like it is easy. We've all seen it. We've all probably been there ourselves to just like, oh, I got beat. I'm gonna soul up. Man, it was all my dice. And like, yes, sometimes dice swing. Like that's part of it. We roll dice in a game, but
Yep.
I feel like 9 times out of 10 we will tend to blame our dice. And when if you really went back and crunched all the numbers on your rolls, it's close to average at least. In most cases,
Yep.
there's always outliers. You're gonna have games where like the dice truly are kind of like spiked and not average, but that can often be a trap. You'll often see players sort of man, it's just the dice. That's the only reason I'm
100%.
bad is my dice, and like
Yeah.
there's something to learn.
Except for me, then I can blame the dice.
Right. Everybody
When it
except
doesn't
me.
go my way. Everyone except for me. Yeah, but I mean, with the statistics of the dice, I mean, we're rolling them enough in one game to where they do average out. I feel like they're not going to be that swingy to one side. I feel like they'll be within a couple percentage over the course of a full game, because you're probably rolling a couple hundred dice. I'd say, right? I mean, I don't even know.
I mean, anymore the dice pools get bigger and bigger. I mean, like, you shoot Cassian like 4 times a game. That's like 100 dice.
Yeah, I mean, the list I was playing this weekend was shooting like 15 dice at a time. So like doing that 3-4 times a turn, times 4 or 5 turns, like that's 300-400 dice.
Not to mention defensively as well. Right,
and then
like
the defensive
you're
dice
also
side,
getting
too.
defensive rolls in there. So like, yeah, that is a lot of dice.
Yeah.
I never thought about the amount of times I actually roll something in this game.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's a lot, and it's getting more.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But,
Learning from your mistakes. Go out and get beat more. You heard it here first. Go out and get stomped, guys. Then learn from it.
yeah. Dude, yes. One of the first strategies I learned early on was waiting with your power pieces, because if you see blood in the water and you go too early because you're like, oh, I can kill something with this big powerful piece, let's just go and activate, then usually what happens is your opponent now has all the information and they can now counter whatever you just did, and usually remove that unit from the game.
Are you telling me I shouldn't be charging him with my Haunt on and losing him before turn 2? Are you wait?
Yes.
Probably not. Probably
Wait,
not.
If you do that, he might feel like he's worth 90 points if you charge him out first activation.
Yes.
However, if you don't do that, different conversation.
So yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of stuff, but yeah.
No, that's definitely a good tip. I would always, especially early on in my Legion days, it was like anytime you see the target, and you're like, oh, let's go shoot it, and wait, patience, young Padawans. That's the
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, yeah. I mean, so great beginning tactics, things to learn from. I guess there's a ton of new stuff that has been dumped into this meta. There's all sorts of new things coming out. The game has changed a lot. I guess, what are you like most excited about at this point in the game to be running? Like, is there anything that's catching your eyes? I know we got like Mandos and things now, and just like what's exciting?
Yeah, I'm definitely a sucker for the Mandos. I've been very excited to run them. I've been nonstop list building. Like literally every day I build a new list with Mandos. It's just like addicting. But yeah, I'm excited to get them on the table and see how they do. I think they'll be balanced. I don't think they're going to be overpowered. I don't think they'll be like. I think they'll just be like a good level, because I think with their base units, they're saving at the same rate as Stormtrooper units. So I think a lot of people are overestimating because they hear the word Mando and they're just like automatically, oh, the red surging saves, like we're going to be invincible. But that's not going to be the case for a majority of your list. And they got some sweet heroes in there. The command cards seem really good. Also, I mean, Din is going to be extremely good even outside of the Mando battle forces. I am excited to put him in some Empire lists now too with Infiltrate, because you can take that card, that 2-pip, maybe bring a Hunter as well, so you infiltrate both of them with Flamers. There's things like that you can do. Of course, Rebels also has that now too, so they'll be getting a buff as well. But yeah, I'm excited to put them on the table and see how they do. I've been playing GAR recently. That was a lot of fun. Tried out a 7 activation list. Tried to like really challenge myself over the weekend. And it actually was like one of the most fun tournaments I've had in a while, just because of how the list plays and how perfectly you have to play each unit, because you only have 7 on the table. So you only have 14 actions per turn, where your opponents might have 14 plus activations. So they might have like close to 30 actions on the table. So they can make more mistakes. It was a lot of fun putting Yoda and Bad Batch and all the super squads on the table. It's one thing that I was toying with, just because I feel like the GAR win rate was so low. But is it the case that it's because we're building too conventionally with them? And I started theory crafting with them, and the problem, obviously, that GAR struggles with is the activation counts have gotten so high, and I don't think they want to try to keep up, because if you try to keep up, they start getting spread too thin, like butter over bread, right? Like
Bilbo Baggins.
They just, yeah, Bilbo Baggins, right? They can't produce the same amount of activations that a Rebel or a CIS list can effectively. And so if you're not going to tie them with their activation count, the way that pass tokens work, it's like if they're already up by 2 and you're getting pass tokens, it doesn't make a difference if you're at 10 or if you're at 7. So that was the theory, because you're going to have the same amount of pass plus activations to go off of. So I was like, well, why would I take these scrubby units that like a Haunton or Wheeled by Grievous can just one-shot? Let's just load them up and take these super squads that can survive a hit or two and then hit back way harder and just look at the target and say, you're off the table. So that was the idea, and it worked out really well. And honestly, over the course of 5 games, like, my attrition was insane. I only lost 3 total units across all 5 games. I lost a Bad Batch in 1 game, and then in the finals, I lost Yoda and Ahsoka Super Squad. But that's across 5 games. I didn't lose anything else. So my attrition ratio was like crazy. The other thing with the Super Squads, obviously, is that Indomitable. So you're never losing actions, really. So it was very powerful. It actually did a lot better, and it was a lot more fun than I had expected going into the tournament. So it's definitely something to think about. I think GAR players might need to like retrain their brain a little bit and maybe try out those super squads again, because I think they're very efficient. The other thing I'll mention with the super squads is with the list, well, the particular list that I ran, it had 58 total wounds. And most of the time with the army that I built, you're surging red saves. Now, when you look at a generic 501st Anakin, 4 arc medics, 4 snipers, the 2 commandos, and the naked core, like a 12-act list, I'd say that's like the most basic list you could make with GAR right now. That only has 46 affected wounds. And majority of the time, you're not going to have the surges, because you only have 1 native surge on the table. So you're talking about a 12 health difference on top of you're always almost going to be surging. So it actually was a lot more beefier than a 12-act list, and it was only 7-act. So it's just something to think about, something I was toying with, and I was just like, this actually seems pretty good. Obviously, I played Ollie last year at the WTC, and he kicked my butt with it, and everybody else, really. I think he went 6-0 with it. but he was running Anakin. I switched to Yoda, so that was the difference there. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. So maybe GAR players try it out. It's definitely a list where the floor is extremely low, but the ceiling can be through the roof. Like it's unlimited with the guidance and Yoda's 2-pip with the relentless shots and bad scouting on the board. It's really good. It can hit people pretty hard. Like I said, I only lost 3 units over 5 games, so it's very strong.
Nice.
But yeah, so that's what I was running over the weekend at least. But now I'm on to the Mandos, so let's go.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, go ahead, Owen.
I was gonna say it's interesting to me that you were talking about taking things off the board and killing them completely, because I feel like right now the meta is revolving around a lot of suppression and just suppressing people's pieces, because what I feel like used to be no suppression at all has now become a game where suppression matters a lot. And it's interesting that your list that you were running, it was like you didn't even have to worry about that because the super squads are, rolling the red saves on that. So you're like, okay, well, who cares? Like, stack them on. I'll just roll them off.
Yep. I mean, on average, you'd have to get 6 suppression on a unit to technically like suppress them, right? Because they're rolling the surging red saves. So you're 2 or 3 up, taking out suppression. So, and on 5s, he's actually even better because he's Courage 3. So, I mean, I rarely lost. I don't think I even really did lose an action over the tournament. So, it's like snipers. Okay, all right, you can kill a model and put 2 suppression on me. I'll be fine. It's fine. But if you're running the base clones, who are just regular Courage 2 rolling white saves, that really hurts them. Now you're down you're down 20% of your squad if you have a heavy weapon, and you're probably going to be suppressed. You're probably losing an action. So that's definitely one thing I was also thinking about with this new sniper meta, because I don't really like getting into the whole sniper war. I mean, it is sometimes necessary, but if I can avoid it, it's like I feel better about it. It's just not as fun. So
yeah, it's interesting. Like, not like the suppression and everything, but like also all the lists right now are just like it feels like every list is 14 plus acts right now that's performing well. So just leaning into the opposite, like not trying to leaning into the strength of GAR and having just sheer bodies that can get surge tokens. I think is a really unique thing that really only GAR can do, because even the Mandos can't really get surge tokens everywhere. I mean, they have some slight ways to do it, but that's a really cool thought. I'm curious. I was looking through your games. So you played one of shifting, it looks like, and recover as well, like some of the spread out ones.
Yeah.
You played intercept too, like with the low axe. Do you think that I'm trying to think, I don't know, like maybe like Cauldron. You obviously played shifting and stuff. Do you think like you're able to spread out with a high act list like that?
So shifting, I think, is probably the worst.
That's fair.
And unfortunately, my opponent flipped both shifting and advanced, and I only had 1 ban left. So I decided to go with flipping his advanced.
That's rough.
I think in hindsight, I should have maybe just let him go like 3 times last and just said, we're not playing shifting because I can't play it. But I hadn't practiced that. I only got 2 practice games in, unfortunately, so I hadn't seen shifting yet. But the idea with the list, too, is with Intercept, you can give it to 2 of your super squads, and they just have to contest. So they're never gonna get them off the point once they're on there.
Oh, that's true.
They're always going to be contesting. And then with Recover, the research, it's the same thing. Once they get on the point, they're never getting removed off the point. So it's really just the ones where you have to secure that it becomes a problem. And then you really do have to focus on killing units before you can start securing. But obviously the list does kill when you're rolling 15 dice sometimes. So,
and I'm sure you're winning your secondaries like most of the time, especially if you can flip into the more killy ones.
So I was actually much more concerned about secondaries than I was primaries, because the secondary game now there's a lot of action-based ones but surprisingly enough, and this might be a mistake that my opponents were making in battle decks, they didn't have much of those. Like, people are still just throwing in sweep and clear, which I love. Yep. People are throwing in failed negotiations is a new one, which I love. I'm like, yes, Ahsoka, thank you. Incognito, turn 1, charge right up the board. So as long as I'm avoiding the ones that you have to do actions on, like, I'm okay with. And I have marked targets in there too. Oh, that's a great one too. Like, I'm not going to lose a super squad, and even if you get them down to 1, I'll just be like, all right, Yoda, force guidance them back. You're safe. So, yeah, the list is actually, it's a lot of fun. I was stretched on points. I didn't have enough points for, like, nice upgrades, like Into the Fray on my super squads. Or I wanted to put, like, Overwatch on the 5 squad, because force guidance, Overwatch, standbys that would be amazing. But I had to take force push on Yoda because you can't have your super squads getting gummed up by, like, a single random mini, you know. So the points were a little tight. Also, Captain Rex was literally, he didn't shoot or attack one time the entire tournament. He was there solely for a back capper and to bring scouting party. That was it. So I paid 108 points for Rex to never shoot and just sit on a back point and bring scouting party, which is it's kind of rough, but you got to do it.
He's the most fragile thing in the list at that point, which is kind of...
Yeah. Just, you sit there, aim dodge the whole game, you're good.
Wow. Did you even call me Captain Grenade off with him? You know?
No, I never got it off. I wish I got it off once, because that would have been fun. But
you call me Captain with like 100 snipers. I guess you don't have the snipers to do it with.
No, I don't have the snipers.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fun. It was definitely a challenge. But yeah. Cool list to play.
Yeah, no, the point you hit on about the objective decks, I think, is also a really important one that I feel like we have objective pack 2, and I think that a lot, like, we are still kind of stuck in our old, like, I'm just going to throw these 3 secondaries that I like to play. I'm going to throw these 3 primaries I like to play. Like, not only thinking about, I feel like most players do a fairly good job of, like, yeah, I play these things well, I can play these things, but also taking into mind, like, maybe you might think you can play failed negotiations well. Can you play failed negotiations against Super 5s across the table, or can I play it against the Asajj BX squad? Like, being semi-aware of what's floating around there that can just do what you do fairly well, extremely well, and will beat you at your own game.
Yes.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yep, and that's a good takeaway, right? It's like when I'm list building, I'm always thinking about, is a different list going to be better at these objectives than me? I'm not necessarily just thinking about, am I good? I'm thinking about, are they going to be better than me? And if that's the case, I need to figure out, is there a better option for me? Maybe I'm slightly worse at it, but they're not going to be better than me at. Right. So that's always a balancing act too.
For sure.
With the battle deck.
Yeah, I feel like Sweep and Clear is one of those, like, everybody looks at, it's easy, just kill stuff, and, like, nobody thinks about like, I don't need to play this against somebody that can force push my dude into my deployment zone and kill me. Like, I don't have that tool, and somebody else probably does have that tool. Yeah, there's all sorts of use cases. We could go down the whole list, I suppose, but
I think knowing the defensive end of options, like if you do get stuck with a objective that you don't like, how your list will react in that situation. So it's less of like, I know I'm good at this, but also, okay, I'm not good at this. What do I do about that? Yeah. Like I did a game of Outflank last week, and my opponent was playing GAR, and they didn't use any of the side deployments. They opted not to, so that way all of their list could be together.
Classic.
And that way they just were able to then contest the one that I was trying to flank and then push up the center, but because they were pushed together and not dealing with trying to deploy on the other end of the board, I didn't deploy a lot of stuff there, but I had to deploy something to try to get that, and they were able to just be able to share all of their tokens and do GAR things together, and I was like, I'm losing this fight. I was like, no. I thought I was going to win this.
For Outflank, I Yeah, always put like something in the corner and just like speed them over to your home point. That's like how I play it almost every time. Uh,
Yeah.
it's really powerful to be able to fight 30% of their army with 100% of yours. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah. Outflank is a really fun one. That's very dynamic. That one in Payload I really like. They definitely did a good job with those objectives. Because you really got to think. And blue player in an outflank versus red player is a whole different dynamic too. It's very interesting. Because if you overcommit, then it's like, oh, like you just said, your opponent could just be like, nah, I'm just gonna win the home points. You can do that thing. It's fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's cool. One thing I do miss about Old Legion is the control that you had in turn 0. I think the randomness sometimes gets me a little hung up with the dice rolling. It feels like every time it's like a sweaty game. I always roll too many crits in the opening 4 black dice, and I'm blue player.
Every time.
And I really want to be red player every time. So, and that because I do think red player. Personally, I think red player is a little stronger just because of the control you have over the game. Obviously, with blue player, you can force more stuff, but I'm more of a reactionary player, so I like the red player better. I do wish there was a veto system where you knew already what the cards were going to come up. I don't like the random polling as much. I like, as a higher or like competitive player, I like to have as much control over the game as possible, obviously. So that's just one thing.
I think that's like a pretty widely accepted notion too. Everybody wants to be red. I think back to like, honestly, pretty much all my convention losses were red player, and I flipped it to the objective that I can't play. Which I had somebody do that. It was during this. We're talking about our GT that happened, I guess, a few weeks ago now at this point. But I was playing like a warm up game with Noah. He'd gotten a bye, and he did something interesting when he got. I had actually gotten red player for the first time in forever, and so like he actually allowed me to take my primary first so he could see the objectives, so he could rifle through and eliminate the ones that, like the one that he can't play. And I was like, that's a concept. Like, yeah, you're blue, and instead of like making it be like a 3-card chance of like, all right, I'm just gonna like pick my primary. I know red player's just gonna flip his from his primary deck just to like play his deck. He was like, no, I'm just gonna like rifle through yours and make sure I get rid of I know which one is coming up. And I was like, that's an interesting concept. Now you're as blue player, you're burning like a lot of your eliminations to do that, but I don't know if there truly is like, hey, if we flip into breakthrough, I'm going to just auto lose. I mean, hey, maybe you, or like whatever objective that might be, shifting, whatever. But it's a thought. Still not ideal.
I had another hot take about the turn 0 or battle decks, whatever. I think if they just completely got rid of advanced intel, it would be way better. Like, I had a couple games where it was just like, you're playing a good player, if they get advanced intel, it's such an important advantage, and I have to like think about them just drawing it last, or I have to spend one of my bans just because they got it on it. Like the 1 out of 3 they pull it first. Now I gotta be like, well, I have to do this because it's too good. So I think truly they should just nix that one or change it a little bit, and then because all the other advantages, like, they're cool, but they're not like super strong. Where having that information for turn 1 is like very powerful. Like,
I feel like it has like 100%. It's 100% take rate.
60. Everybody takes it, and I think it has like a 65-70% win rate or something if you do get it, which is way too high for a competitively balanced game. So that's my hot take.
I don't know if that's a hot take. I feel like that's
pretty fair.
Yeah, that's a normal take. Everyone knows how good advanced intel is. Like,
it makes me feel bad to take other advantages.
Or here's actually my hot take. It should only work if you have fewer X than your opponent. So a 14 activation list should not get a free pass if they're playing a 10 activation list. Like, it should only go one way.
I can see that.
So that way, if you are a lower activation list, you can bring it knowing that, okay, I have the chance for an extra pass turn one.
Yeah.
Now we're going to be even. But you're risking, maybe I play someone who's actually lower and this advantage does nothing for me. So I think that would be a little bit of an interesting tweak that they could do.
Yeah, they've explored that space a little bit. The rebel advantage or whatever is act count dependent.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny because rebels are, it's like, yo, this is my low act rebel list I'm bringing to use this advantage. It's not really a thing, but hey.
Yeah, I've tried to use that in my rebel list, and it's
No time to lose. Is that the
yeah? It's rough, like, because whenever it does
your stuff
work,
is so cheap. I have so much stuff.
I have a lot of acts, and then by the time that I'm using that, which is normally like turn 3, turn 4, which is good, like that's a nice time to be able to have extra dodges or extra
right
aims
recover
to be
action
able
too
to-
is huge.
Yeah, like it's not bad there, but the problem is that I have to lose so much of my army to get to that point.
I
And
just
by that-
killed so much of my opponent's stuff that like I just can't get it.
Yeah,
Oh, rebels! It's so sad to be rebels.
I don't think that rebels really have a lot of good.
Yeah, it's just not a
advantages.
thing. Like you truly
Yeah.
like you can't you don't
Yeah.
I don't think can you even build an 8-act rebel list? Like is that doable? Like
Sure.
actually,
If
like
you super squatted stuff and you like pumped up the upgrades.
I mean,
on
okay,
it,
I guess if you
could.
fill every upgrade slot,
Yeah,
or
like
something.
if you hero hammered really hard, you could definitely do it.
Really though? I mean, I guess if you're
Yeah,
like
it's like
Opluke,
Opluke,
Yeah, if I'm
everyone.
taking
got,
Op
like,
Luke and
Bad
Han,
Batch.
and then
Yeah.
like
That's
or
like
Bad
what
Batch,
200
yeah,
points.
like
Yeah.
You could. Maybe it's for a hero hammer list. Maybe when we get like the ghost crew or something, that's like gonna be a thing. That'd be cool. You just put like your 7 models on the table. And
yeah,
12
I
rebels.
would like.
They'll be like 50 points. Have every keyword in the game. The card will be this big, and they'll just have every keyword.
We were joking about how like the Cassian Fleet Trooper unit is very anti Rogue One ending. It's like actually if you played that scene out in the game, it's like Vader ignites his lightsaber and the Fleet Troopers just dump it into him. He's like a pile of ash like, in the hallway, just gone, just smited. Somebody needs to AI do that or something. Video that. Yeah.
I definitely feel like they should visit the advantages and add more. Like I like the fact that we're getting some advantages that are based on our factions, but I think that there's still more that can be done in that space, because even with the new ones, like just from my perspective as the rebel player looking at it, is that like no time to lose isn't that great. The
Yeah.
comms one is god awful because they can just turn it off with a single action. So like yeah, I get to burn one of your actions on it, but the amount of times that actually happens is very little, and the amount of times that I've actually like if I put that
It's
token in the
situational.
center, I just watch people go
Yeah.
around it, and so that way they don't have to deal with it.
I do feel that one,
Situationally.
if you play it properly, it can be very strong. Because you have to turn it off at half range, and it works at range 1. So if you place it properly around like a POI, it can actually be very annoying.
Which
to deal with.
I've done, but I've either had opponents
yeah.
that then just dive bomb to the other side of the POI to turn it off,
Yeah.
or they just go, okay, and they just go to the other POIs and just leave that one alone, and I'm just like,
Yeah, that's
On
fair.
certain
Great.
objectives, like on a
Yeah.
close the pocket or
Yeah.
like actually the first time I played it was against Adam Slaver in round. It was like the fifth round of the Stabcast tournament, and that was like I kind of like I was like, oh cool, this is just pointless. But then like I had Op Vader like charging his back point, and I'm like, well shoot, I can't get orders onto him, and I have nothing that can get there. Like Vader's the only person that can make it across that no man's land. And so, situationally, but yeah, you definitely run the risk of them just being like, all right, deuces, I'm just gonna go play over here.
yep.
Yeah.
But,
Yep.
yeah.
I was a little upset that the Mandos didn't get their own advantages. I know they're not like a faction, but I feel like they are their own faction at this point. They have like more units than some of the factions too. I think like they have a lot of units at this point.
We were talking about that in the last
I
cast.
don't disagree. They do feel like a faction.
Yeah.
I understand they're
Yeah.
Battle Force and they're a sub faction, sub Battle Force, or whatever they called it. But it's to me they seem like an actually legit faction just because of the fact that like there's so much there, and we know they're at least getting one new unit in the future, if not more. So
right, yep.
Yeah.
And they're getting a starship or whatever
Fang Fighter
in the future, which like that'd be sweet. I'm excited to see what those do, but so I don't know. Maybe they will get advantages in the future. Who knows?
Yeah.
Cool.
I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing some like Battle Force specific advantages or things like that start popping up in the future. I think that's definitely good space to add things and to have. And I think it also gives you even more of an incentive on some of the battle forces that you're not just going for command cards, but you can also just be like, well, I can also pull this advantage that does something cool. And that's
battle force advantages would be sweet. That'd be really fun, like thematic thing to explore. But they're probably just trying to cover their bases first. You got to hit the OG 4 first, I suppose. But,
yeah, for sure.
Since we're going through hot takes here, you've mentioned a couple. Do you have anything else like in your pocket that you're like, all right, here's how I want to change the game. Here's like my hottest take of things that you're just like, yeah, no, this needs to.
Let me think.
Remove rebels as a faction.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, those aren't hot takes.
No.
That's how everybody feels at this point.
My hot take is I think hauntons are appropriately points. I think
that's
I think
crazy.
they're fine.
I like rebels.
Oh,
Like I'm happy that rebels are getting what they have now. I just feel like Haunton is like like what I hope happens. I know Haunton is going to eventually get adjusted. I hope that the rest of rebels don't get just nerf batted into the ground. And it's just like a few things get tweaked and they can still build lists, but.
I think, Haunton's crazy at 90. The fact that he's 5 points cheaper than a regular Taun is, like, hilarious to me. And also just, like, what were they thinking? I think he could go up 20. I think he'd be okay.
I would still take him in the Rebel. Like, you could
Yeah,
put him
I'm
at
still taking him
100%.
Sure, yeah.
You're still
trading up most
You're
cases.
still taking him. You're still trading up. He gets to go twice. Like, that is so good. But maybe they'll fix Unconcerned. I don't know.
That's also something that could happen. Yeah.
But then they'd have to do something crazy with Dark Troopers too. They'd have to make them like speed 2 and activate normal or something. I don't know. Cassian also 25 points for Cassian is like crazy to me. Comparing him to other like the unique hero upgrades is just like. What were they thinking?
You want to know what units have infinite courage? You want to call those out real quick?
Yeah, what do we got? We got Vader. Or Commander Vader, specifically. Dark Troopers. I don't even...
Other null courages? I think it's just Commander Vader, Darks,
and then Paz.
Paz when he flips,
places.
If it's over. And then Cassian leading some dudes.
And then Cassian, yeah.
Which I get the thing, like, it's thematically pleasing, but...
Yeah, I think all the keywords he has, they're all thematic. It all makes sense to me, but it's just like, really? It's only 25 points? Oh, and if you kill models in the squad, he just still throws dice? Like, it's just like, wow, that's very strong.
Flamethrowers.
But it is what it is. Yeah, Rebels are just overtuned right now. Getting up to 14, 15 activations. Another thing with them is they're just like every unit that's on the table serves a purpose and is effective at doing something. I feel like when you're building lists with a Empire or maybe even a GAR, like when you're running activations like that high, you have some that are just like, this unit is really bad and they don't do anything. And you have to support them more. Where in Rebels, they can just be off by themselves. I think that's a big thing with Rebels is all their units, like, you don't have to support them. They just kind of work by themselves independently. Where in, like, a CIS, you need to have the order control chain. You need to have now override sometimes. In an Empire, you got to have compel. You got to have support commanders everywhere. In GAR, obviously, you got to have units that are synergizing and bouncing tokens off each other. Like, Rebels just naturally exist, and all their units are good. And they're just, like, all independent pieces. Like, you could take each individual unit by themselves, and they'd be good. So that's my hot take, I guess.
Yeah, because like I would disagree with that solely because if I do have units that are by themselves, normally they have Courage 1. And so
That is
they
something
just
to take into account.
become suppressed now like that or panicked, and I'm just like, oh cool, I'm gonna take that. Oh, I'm not because you sniped me, and so now that unit is just panicked, and I don't do anything with them.
Possibly, but hear me out. Pretty much all the Rebel lists I'm seeing are one Cassian fleet and maybe 2 naked troopers, and then the rest are Courage 2.
Oh yeah.
Units.
The rest of them
Courage
definitely
2 plus.
agree with you on. But when I'm looking at my core aspect
Core
and I'm
pretty
running
good.
that, I'm just like, I'm trying to figure out every way to not be panicked every single turn and bringing all of the inspire that I can. And even then, I'm still having trouble with suppression.
Yeah, suppression can be a problem. But like I said, they're still serving a purpose. Like those, you're not expecting much out of those naked units, but they're sitting there in the back
Taking
capping
hiding.
points.
Exactly.
And
I'm making you shoot
padding,
them.
so it's like
right. Like I'm making you have
which
to.
you
do
don't
something.
want to. Right?
Yeah, the last thing
Yep,
that you want a
yep.
sniper
So-
to shoot at is like a naked rebel trooper or something. It feels like you're shooting
Yeah,
at
it's
D1s.
like yay, I killed one guy. Good.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't know. I think we're at a good point though. I do think GAR's definitely lacking. I think they got slapped a little too hard. I've shifted away from Empire, even though they have Thrawn and Vader and all these good support characters. It's just like the rest of the army still is lacking. And like I said, they need so much support to really work. You need the compel for your stormtroopers. You need new ways to motivate them for your dewbacks. You need like tack strike for your special force. Like they just
like a lot of support.
they need too much to like really boost up the army. That they don't work independently like a rebel list does. And I can't find a list that I like in Empire at the moment. Maybe I'm not trying certain things enough, but I don't know. Every time I build something in Empire, I'm like, oh wow, this is 15 activations, but it's like more than half my units could just easily get one shot, and they gotta stay around my support characters. So I don't know. And I'm a big Empire main. I love Vader. I love, I'm a big Empire guy. But I just can't find anything at the moment. So if you got anything out there, just hit me up, please. I'm looking for something.
I feel similarly on Empire too. Like I don't run it all the time, but even the list that took the Stabcast was like a 14 act Op Vader, Thrawn, Krennic, bunch of storms type thing. But like I almost really messed myself up because like I don't play Empire a ton. I'm used to my core, being clone troopers and Courage 2, and like there was a few times where I misdeployed stormtroopers on the flank, and I was like, oh shoot, I'm just gonna really hope my opponent doesn't really exploit that because they're Courage 1.
Very easily suppressed.
Yeah, I'm like, whoops, oh no, can't split my army at all. It's like literally the whole army's together, and then Vader can go solo a flank with maybe some scout troopers or something. Your Courage 1 core are very very easy to turn off right now, especially if there's a sniper on the board.
Yeah. Yep.
That's not boiling hot. That's
No, it's maybe my hotter take is that I think GAR is actually better than Empire at the moment, even though that the win rate doesn't suggest it. Just because of how well their units are they can support themselves better than Empire can. That's my hot take.
Well, you've mentioned here how you think GAR is having some issues and it needs some buffs. Do you feel that they just need like point cost reductions, because I know that that's a thing coming out of Notorious Scoundrels. They say that a lot of how it's just like, I think Mike literally
bloated.
said that it's like buying a burger for $10 more than everyone else.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think that you could just fix them with some point adjustments. They're still, like, token sharing is still the best faction identity that you can have, because you can never waste actions. Basically, you could always just be like, oh, this guy in the back is going to move aim, and then later in the turn you spend it, right? So you can always be very efficient with your actions in that way. So I think they just got slapped a little too hard with the clone commanders going up by 10 points was crazy. That's a lot.
Oh, the
just
upgrade.
because they're giving up the surges out. Those really helped out the arcs. Their biggest issue now is they just don't have enough surges. I think, well, actually, it'll be interesting though, because when Mandos come out, all of their Pierce weapons are going to take a huge nerf, or they're already out. But yeah, because a lot of their, you got Clone Commandos with Lethal 1, you got the Shotgun Pierce 1, like they're going to be just
nothing.
Borderline, like, not doing anything, right? Except for forcing.
Is there a Z6 meta?
Yeah.
Take up your old
I don't know.
clone
Is there
players.
a Z6 meta? Is there a world where the comms tech dude is good? Like, I've floated that idea where you have Overwatch fire support.
You run Yoda and just like,
yeah,
6 standby.
You just have an entire army of Overwatch range 3 just going out there, like, with 5s and coordinate. Like, I don't know. Maybe we got to be a little more creative in our list building here.
Be an absolute menace. It's
but,
like, you forced this into...
Yeah.
Like, this is your doing, AMG. I'm standby castling until you fix me.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, back when I was playing Vets, I had that. I had the comm upgrade, so that way I could put the HQ uplink onto my Vets, so that way every turn I made sure that I was either giving them orders or I had them with that, and that would able to give them orders, and then they could chain it to the Mark IIs and everything. So I always had standbys going and everything, and like,
was it?
It's pretty solid. The downside was that they then nerfed the HQ uplink, and so then it was just so much harder to do that. And I was like, yeah, I can't do this with just 2. Like, I needed to really do that.
Yeah,
with
Cassian and Vets too. Like, I saw that being a thing because you can't strip the standbys off of him. It's almost impossible.
Yeah.
You have to like somehow shoot him without flipping his card by killing somebody. But like, unstrippable standby on a super squad.
Yeah, that could be pretty good. What else was I going to say? Oh, I lost my train of thought.
I distracted you. Standby castles, Yoda.
Maybe, I mean, yeah, and maybe just shift to the super squad. Say, you know what? I'm not even going to try to keep up with activation counts, and just go down to like a beefy 8 or 9, and just say, you know what? I'm going to play these super squads. You're not going to kill them, and everything that tries to shoot me, they're just going to hit you back with like a truck. Because I think, going back to the super squads again, they're just so efficient. Those extra bodies I forget what you pay, but they're significantly cheaper.
I think you can.
And you're gaining keywords on top of it. They're 53 versus like a normal squad's 56. You're gaining Indomitable. And another thing is the cohesion at range 1 makes a huge difference for cover, for spreading out, for token sharing. Like, I would have my 7 squad spread across the entire table, and I could still Yoda share from the center to everyone because it was just so spread out, So that definitely helps out as well. And a sneaky thing that you can always do is like you move on to a POI and just like body block with all your 11 models, so they can't even physically move onto the point. I did that a couple times actually, which is a good little tactic.
Block out all those tanks. Take that wheel.
I learned that the hard way at Worlds once. I was playing this German guy, super good. It was like one of the final matches or something. and we were playing KP, and I was like, oh, I'll just double move my mortar on there, and he force pushed a squad and just set up the guys, and I was like, oh my god, now I can't get that model on the point because it's body blocked. So that's something that stuck with me. Going back to playing better players, like learning those small little tactics and things. It definitely helps, and it's fun, right? Because then you got now you got a little tool now in your belt. Mm-hmm. You just keep stacking them up.
Learn.
You start off with a couple simple ones, and then you just build off of them.
Yeah.
I know we're jumping around here.
No, this is great. This is great.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is good, and it's definitely good information, because like that is a thing that I feel like new players kind of forget, is that they can cohesion their things in a specific way to either block or to be in better cover, or like that was a thing that took me a while to figure out joining into the game and trying to understand that. I was like, oh, there's things that I can do here to be able to get that point better defended, or like you can melee somebody and pull their leader off of the point, and then it's like, oh, hey, now they're not there anymore, and I can capture that, or secure it and get the VP. Like that's definitely stuff that people need to think more about, in my opinion. When like that's a really good starting point for new players, of like, think about that stuff, because that will help you so much.
Especially things like payload. Vehicles can do it obnoxiously. It's a lot. No. Do you think there's like anything that the community as a whole is like, we've kind of hit on it, I guess, a little bit, but anything that the community is like undervaluing or overvaluing, or like we've talked about GAR probably not trying to keep up, but like anything else in the value town camp that's being miscued?
Man, I'm trying to think. I think we're...
It's a hard one.
I don't know. It's a hard one. I think units that are very mobile are very undervalued, especially in with these new objectives. Like things like the Wheelo tank are extremely good. Things like a bus, any transport unit, you can really, at like higher levels, like you can use them to such advantage to disrupt your opponent and what they can do. Like we were just talking about, you can block things, you can score 2 points, you can create a line of sight blocker. Like I think those are some of the best units in the game, truthfully. And every time I see them across the table, I'm like, oh, here we go again. I got to deal with this freaking thing. And they always seem to live way longer than they should, right? They're like 8 white save health, but it's like it takes so much to kill them, I feel. So I think people should actually be throwing Wheelo tanks in their lists, even if you're just like a random like GAR player or like Empire player now. Like just for 100 points, that unit is extremely powerful.
Frenzied gunner thing that's going on right now. He had a dice on all of the attacks.
I mean, people obviously see it with the pirate wiki battle force squad or army. Like that's a very strong army. But I think there's actually a lot of value in just throwing it into other squads. And transport's obviously amazing too. Doing things like moving onto the table, you deploy your transport out, and then you can just move in front, body block immediately, and now you have unactivated unit here, and then they can move, shoot, or get set up. Like, I think those things might be.
Since you are playing in kind of like a higher caliber kind of situations, do you see a lot of Hondo gangs?
We didn't see any this past tournament, but I think Jamie from Rochester plays him, and he's a very good player.
We saw it. I think a lot of it is just sheer like it's expensive, and they haven't been out super long.
It's expensive.
Yeah, like that was going to be my thought process, because we just talked about that in our last episode about how expensive a lot of the battle forces are. because there's no like on ramp, and especially with the Hondo gang, it's just like you need to buy 3 or 4 tanks, and that alone is worth more than most armies before you even get to Hondo and the rest of the weekdays. Like that is so much plastic you need to buy. Like you end up spending $600 just for an army. That's like, I think that it could be good, but I never have seen anyone play it because of how much plastic you need to buy for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen any in-person matches yet, but I think it's very strong. Like I was just randomly like putting it together. I'm like, wait a second, this seems like it could be very good. You're transporting super squads forward that are gonna gain relentless, and then you're passing out all these free tokens. I'm like, oh yeah, this is good. And sure enough, I think somebody from the Discord mentioned that they like destroyed people that weekend with them, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think the last I saw Travis Clark run it at Rocky Top or the Stabcast. It was in our Stabcast tournament. It was brutal. like the combination of the tanks, just like they're throwing like 17 dice, like every time they shoot because of all the frenzied gunners, and you run door gunners on it, and then you're kicking those relentless pirates out, and like. If you don't know that Eyes on the Prize works with like the like you have like the asset tokens on you, so if you're like carrying an asset token, you're just relentless the entire game. And so like it's just a lot. And like I've only played against I played against somebody who just brought a weak way squad, and it was like hard enough just to deal with one of them. The idea of dealing with like 4+ of them is terrifying because you can't just withdraw half your army to shoot them like that. You got to figure something out. I feel like just sheer like dollars and stuff being in stock is kind of like the only reason you're not seeing it really creep up.
And it's a very that one is like a very specific battle force too, so it's
a
like
lot.
You don't like if you're not taking that battle force, then they're just gonna sit on the shelf and collect dust.
Yeah, you're not splashing it into other stuff really.
Yeah, not too much. Except for like a random wheel tank maybe.
Is there anything that you would say to somebody who is either thinking about starting to play Legion or is just started and has gotten a couple games in? Like, is there anything that you would give as like advice to them other than like you know that we started out with like just kind of everybody should be playing more games, but like kind of what would you say to these people?
Other than like playing more games and trying to play find better players that will play you. One thing that I do, especially it's really nice now that we're on Longshanks, I'll go and look at tournaments and I'll look at what lists have won, and you can filter it by, region, and you can filter it by amount of players. So sometimes I'll just look at the bigger tournaments just because I want to, have a clearer idea of what the meta is. And just look at their lists and see what's performing well, what they're taking. That's one thing that I've been doing recently, like a lot before going into a tournament. Because I don't typically play a lot of games outside of tournaments. I'll play like a TTS game leading up to a tournament, so I'll just be theory crafting. But that's a main way that I do it is going on the Longshanks and filtering and seeing recent tournaments and what won, and then you can either like think about how you would play against that list, or if you're running that faction, you can then sort of copy them, or like make some small adjustments to your list to factor in what worked for them. So that's always helpful because obviously in bigger tournaments, like those people are winning because they're good at the game. So they know what they're doing when they're building a list. So if you're a newer player, it might be very overwhelming. The classic thing to do is just like load up every slot on a unit, take every upgrade possible, and it's just like, that's just not how Legion really works. You want to take specific upgrades for a reason. You're not just slapping every keyword and upgrade card you can on a unit. So that's usually a helpful thing that I like to do from time to time before a tournament. But yeah, it's always best to just play more, though. That's the best thing you can do.
Play more, get beat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lo-
Get
Play more
baited.
Losing is the first step of winning.
It really is.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. We always.
But I think that's fantastic advice, because I definitely think that I've seen a lot of people that have posted on like the Reddit pages and things. They're just like, here's my first list, like, what do you think? And it's always just like some sort of core unit with like every upgrade known to man, and you're just like,
Yeah.
stop, this is too
Quit.
much. You gotta calm
Yeah.
down.
They're carrying too much gear. You're making them ruck that across
Yep.
the galaxy. Come on, man.
Yeah, because like I understand the knee-jerk reaction that you want your unit to be like good at everything, but when they're good at everything, they're bad at everything as well, because then it's just like, well, yeah, what if you're not going to be in melee? Tenacity doesn't help you. Like that. Why are you putting it on them? Stop doing this.
Every yes you say, you're saying no to something else.
Yeah,
That's a good tip for
Right.
life and for list building.
Yeah. And for list building.
Write it
Yeah.
down.
Yeah. It also helps to go on like a Reddit or a Discord or Facebook even, and just see what people are talking about. Get different tactics. Sometimes you can get the echo chamber effect, where like you can't break out of it, which is sometimes bad, and then you'll see people bring a list that you never thought about, and it's like, oh, holy crap, that just won a GT. They went 6-0. Nobody ever thought to bring that, because we're all just so focused on, oh, let's just run 5-0 first, and that's all we can do. And, meanwhile, the Antoine from France just ran this crazy GAR list that won a GT and won 6-0. So it's like, you want to have a good mix of both. And sometimes the echo chamber can be too much.
For sure.
Definitely, I feel like being entwined with your community is always good, because you're either getting games out of
Yes.
that, so you're getting the experience, or as you point out, you're having the conversations, so that way you can be able to kind of theory craft better, or poke holes through things and learn that way without having to lug all of the plastic around. But either way, like, being part of that community helps you.
Yep. Getting games at the local gaming stores helpful. Like, each community has their own meta, and then there's there's their overarching meta, but then each like pocket has their own meta as well, too. So it's good to have like a good idea of both.
Talking and chatting. Yeah, well, like we just put a Discord together for our local scene like fairly recently, and even that's like it's great for building community, but just like the conversations and stuff in there, it's cool to see people throw things in.
Yep.
Yeah, be talking about the game, be in the groups, be chatting, be throwing ideas up.
At the end of the day, this is a social interaction. We're playing it for fun. Like, all these guys are my buddies. Like, we're having a good time, right? So,
Like,
Yeah,
good
no,
stuff.
100%. I think, as we end every cast with this, we're here and we do all of this because, the love of the game, right? Like, that's why we sign off with that is because of the fact that it's like, we love this. We love doing this. We love playing it. We love the people that we meet, and being able to be part of that community and building this up and playing with these people. And, I absolutely loved when I was able to just be like, oh man, I got so beat at my local store, and then I just looked at my opponent and was like, you want to go see the Mando movie? Like, we still got 2 hours before we were gonna be home, and so you find friends like that you're like, all right, yeah, let's go to the movies. Like,
yep.
It's a social game.
And like, my other hobby that I'm addicted to is golf. And it's like, sometimes I get mad at myself, and I'm just like, I'm not doing this professionally. Nobody's paying me. Why am I getting mad? Like, I'm out here to have fun. If we're not having fun, why are we doing this? Like, what's the point then, right? So, just good.
100%. This is for the fun of things, and you have dispensed so much good advice and so much knowledge there, Luke. Thank you so much for joining us today. This has been fantastic, and we will definitely have you back on to talk more about this. I would love to pick your brain on more things. So thank you so much for being here and being part of this. And
Absolutely.
we do this all for
The love of the
game.
game.